This is the Pilots News Briefing Podcast. I'm Frank Daniels, and with me today is Matt Lamb from the Pilots Newsroom, bringing us the latest news in Moore County. What do you have?
So I got two stories that kind of segue into each other. We'll start with the first, coming out of a school board meeting this Monday. David Hensley's frustrated with the new, more innovative high school, and I know we've discussed the development process kind of ad nauseum, but the school officially has a name, the More Innovative High School. They officially have a mascot, the Red Wolves, and they officially have a set of colors, red and white. Add that to their new calendar, and they're kind of making some headway. And we've talked about the capital development side, the programmatic development, but Hensley took the opportunity on Monday to express some frustration. All along, he's been kind of perplexed by the planning process. Keep in mind, this was born of a $25 million appropriation from the General Assembly in the 2023 biennial budget. And nobody really knows what the impetus or the nexus of this carve out or this earmark was. It was basically Senator Tom McGinnis and Representative Neil Jackson said, hey, here's $25 million for capital development for construction on Sand Hills Community College's campus. We want a collaborative, innovative high school between Moore County Schools and the community college, and we want you guys to open it fast. So they hit the ground running. There are a ton of state mandates about how you get one of these schools going. We all know Moore County School is going to be kind of honed in on voc ed, on vocational technical training. The idea is that you shunt all of the high school requirements mandated by the Department of Public Instruction into the first 2 years, and then they take some technical offerings. So they receive advanced certificates for technical jobs that pay more money and are kind of a growing market in the region. But Hensley doesn't like how it shook out. He thinks that the stakeholders were not read in on the process. And by stakeholders, he means the Board of Education, the County Board of Commissioners, Sand Hills Community College Board of Trustees. He thinks it's a crony planning process, that it came from a couple of guys in this proverbial smoky old room, taxpayer carve out, here, figure this school out. He's also frustrated that it's a small cohort model. So state statute stipulates that these schools max out at 400 students. So 100 students per grade. So again, it's a small cohort model. He recognizes that Union Pines and Pinecrest High School are over capacity currently. So we're going to build this nice new building with this nice new educational offering, but it's only going to serve a tiny subsection of the community. In addition to that, he's kind of frustrated about the calendar. So Ashley Ciccone, who's the new principal, previously the principal of Pinehurst Elementary School, the only A-rated public school in Moore County, they're gonna let the kids off at noon on Friday, and that's very intentional. That's to align with the daily schedule over at Sand Hills. I don't think there's a lot of classes that happen in the afternoon on Fridays, but they want to use that afternoon for kids to job shadow and intern and start, kind of getting a look at these industries that they may want to be, involved in. They may want to take some courses in. They can also work. There's a recognition that there's kids that are out there supporting their family, 15, 16-year-old kids that are, their families need them to work. So this offers them the opportunity to do that. But I think Mr. Hensley's concerned that, 15, 16, 17-year-old kid with a Friday afternoon off in the springtime, what's the natural inclination for a kid? But I think Ashley Ciccone is going to be a taskmaster. These kids are not going to be out freewheeling. She's going to have a thumb on what's going on. So, it's not misguided concerns, but
right. The conventional logic would suggest that they're going to be up to no good. But
exactly, and I think that's what he's concerned about.
But I think that I would imagine that there would be some sort of reporting requirement from whatever business.
Yeah, I think they'll come up with something.
They're partnered with to shadow or to give opportunities to these kids as part of their education.
Yeah, I agree.
And of course, that's only Of course, I said. Of course, that's only like a few hours. That's only 3 hours or something, right?
We're not talking about a huge swath of time here. And they still meet, the program still meets the state mandated minimum hours that a kid must be in class.
Even with those 3 hours?
Yeah, I think the state mandated minimum is 1,025 hours. Right now, with the days they have penciled in, they're at 1,034 hours. That compared to, I think it's like 1,060 hours that kids that are in the traditional comprehensive schools are in class. So it's not a huge leap.
Yeah, that's a month of, not even a month of those Fridays, I guess, difference, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not a huge amount of time.
No.
But, if you look at it like that, 3 hours on a Friday, 12 hours a month could potentially be invaluable for a kid that's trying to figure out what he wants to do with the rest of his life.
Sure.
You get into some industry and you realize, hey, I really like welding. I'm super into it.
And I've spoken to Linda Parsons and Natalie Hawkins about the larger workforce development initiative that some organizations and the community college are participating in or are working towards supporting, and apprenticeships are a big part of that model. So absolutely. I think this fits with that.
It does.
And you said that this transitions right into your next story.
Yeah, so there was a joint meeting held this week between the Board of Education and the County Board of Commissioners. And it was penciled in as an update on the budget. Everybody's going through budget development right now. And kind of a quick update on capital development. So there was a meeting previously over a year ago where the school board informed the County Board of Commissioners what their master facility list. It's a 10-point list of construction priorities. It's got a huge price tag on it. It's like $450 million, and that was a year and a half ago. The first priority was, area improvements. So they used bond premium funding to put in new bleachers at schools, put in new rigging for the stages, smaller things that they already had the money kind of earmarked for. The second priority, you start getting into the big ones. It's Carthage Elementary School. We've written a ton about the disrepair of Carthage and how the planning process is moving forward. They didn't really get to the budget. I had a 2-hour window of time. And I think from the outside looking in that both the commissioners and the school board are kind of on the same page. They just are saying everything a bit differently. So they got a quick update on all those area improvements. They are also kind of frustrated with the Innovative High School and the planning process. I think maybe there was a bit of a misunderstanding on the part of Vice Chair Nick Paserno. He looked at the Innovative High School similar to the Career Center, the Advanced Career Center that was planned in 2016. And he said, hey, guys, this feels just like 2016. We're right back in this room having the same conversation when we offered you the money to pay for 3 new schools without a bond referendum, without raising taxes, and you turned it down in favor of this Advanced Career Center, and then it fell through. Mm-hmm. So he was a bit frustrated, and I think that maybe it got lost in translation, that very specific subsection of students that the Innovative High School is going to serve. Those kids who, maybe their parents didn't go to college. Maybe they would benefit from an accelerated timeline. I don't think Vice Chair Paserno realized that accelerated did not necessarily mean that we're trying to get these kids out of high school faster. It's that you've truncated those core requirements down into those first 2 years. When he finally heard that was the case, and that it was going to serve kids who otherwise would not be able to take classes because of their lower GPAs at Sandhills Community College, like dual enrollment, he said, oh, this is great. This is a good thing. Mr. Hensley was also there, and Mr. Hensley is not on either one of those joint collaborative committees, but he brought his own presentation. So he did express some frustration about the Innovative High School. He also has an idea to look at kind of a holistic strategic planning process. He felt like if you're going to bring these two groups together, chairs and vice chairs from both organizations, that the conversation shouldn't be about those smaller ticket items that were presented, those area improvements. They should be talking about strategic, forward-thinking, projected implementation for these big projects. So not just looking at Carthage Elementary, but putting together a plan for all of the elementary schools, all of the middle schools, all of the high schools, and developing those, getting stakeholder input, and then shelving those ideas so that when funding becomes available, you just pull the plan out, dust it off, maybe give it a quick update, and then run with it. I think there was a bit different tune from the commissioners. Yeah, Vice Chairperson Arnaud was like, hey, look, you guys need to focus on what's your priority right now. And at that point, there was, again, lost in translation. They were trying to wrap their heads around, hey, Carthage Elementary is definitively the priority right now for the school district. The commissioners saw all these numbers and all these plans, and they said, we don't know what your priority is. Is it the innovative high school? Is it Carthage Elementary School? Is it $150 million for some new high schools down the line? So I think they all came to the realization that, yes, Carthage is in the dugout. Carthage is they're next, they're in the chute. And they've already done a ton of planning around that. They've had public meetings. The district is looking for a parcel right now, 22 to 25 acres, that they could build an elementary school on. But Hensley also has an idea about occupancy tax. And I think we've discussed this previously, but he wants to raise the occupancy tax rate from 3 to 6%. And he wants to give the school district the right of first refusal on that difference, on that 3% difference. And he wants to use that to either bolster existing athletic facilities and performing arts facilities or build new ones. And then they become dual use. So when you've got travel ball teams that come through town, they can host tournaments that, again, bring in tourism and bring in revenue. So for him, it's a win-win. And that conversation is actually going to happen. I think it's Tuesday at the commissioners meeting. There's going to be a conversation about raising the occupancy tax. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it's on the docket as well. Yeah, I think they're all saying the same thing. They're just kind of going about it a different way. I think now, again, it's obvious that Carthage is in the chute, and that's the next capital development project that needs to happen.
So that's kind of what the consensus is, that the budget needs to focus on making sure that project is funded, and then the school board can prioritize in descending order a couple more projects that the county can then put into queue.
Yeah, but the commissioners just want what's in the chute right now.
Right.
They want to know that it's Carthage Elementary, and I don't know if it'll get built into the budget this year. There's a ton of things that have to happen before you ever break ground on that school.
Right.
So I don't anticipate there being an earmark for $40 million for new Carthage Elementary in this budget cycle.
I mean, it took 4 years for the other elementary schools to be built after the money was allocated through that bond referendum. So you should probably expect, or I would expect it to be a similar time.
Yeah, they're hoping to get a realtor on board in April. So that's the first step.
Right.
Just find somewhere we can build this thing.
Okay. Well, we will, I guess, look to see what happens with the county occupancy tax next.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge story.
Yeah. So we will all hopefully have a good weekend. And I guess it's going to rain on Sunday. I don't know if you're listening to this before the end of the day. Enjoy some pie, maybe. It's Pie Day.
Pie Day.
Thanks for
Pie Day.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that, Matt. And if you have questions for Matt after you read the stories, send an email to mlamb@thepilot.com, mlamb@thepilot.com. You can send an email to me if you have questions about what we do here and want to give feedback on how you think it could better serve you. I would appreciate it through an email to frank@thepilot.com. Until next time.
Until next time.
We'll see you.